He left the show because it was juvenile and his character never grew, not for money. His genuine motive was veiled until lately. The stunning truth? Hollywood intended to keep a secret about civil rights and blacklisting forever. Pernell Roberts was born in Waycross, Georgia, on May 18, 1928. He was born during the Great Depression and grew up in poverty. By age 5, almost 60% of his area's farms were foreclosed. After dreaming of becoming a doctor, his father sold Dr. Pepper door to door. His weekly wage was $7.85, about $143 today. Their wooden house had no plumbing, so young Pernell had to go almost a mile to get water daily. As municipal unemployment reached about 42%, his family received food aid from 1932 to 1934. A moment changed him forever. At age 11, he observed 78 Klan members march through his village on July 11, 1939. That horrific sight sparked his civil rights activism. Mom worked 3 jobs, sometimes until 2 a.m. Pernell waited outside the factory to safely walk her home. His strength and unbreakable character came from the struggle. The music gave him hope. At 13, he found a damaged tuba in a junkyard in 1941. He learned to play it, the French horn, sousaphone, and 5 drums in 3 months. At 15, he played 11 instruments. He even performed for soldiers at the USO Club, reproducing complicated music after one listen. Accidentally, his hand was crushed in 1944. Doctors gave him a 7% chance of full recovery. He rejected that. Instead, he practiced 14-hour days to acquire strength. By March 1945, he could master Chopin's hardest piano piece. Besides performing, he composed. His yearbook has 14 originals. The Atlanta Symphony performed Southern Lament in 1946, full scholarship from Juilliard. He declined because the training was too tough. Pernell supported the war despite being too young to enlist. He held a musical review 2 days after Pearl Harbor to generate $837 for war bonds, or $15,400 today. From 1942 until 1945, he performed 247 USO concerts. Occasionally, he rode 30 miles to military bases. At 16, he was secretly engaged by the War Department to perform for wounded soldiers and German POWs at Camp Gordon in August 1944. Later, military psychiatrists said his shows helped seriously damaged soldiers recuperate. He stayed on stage during a missile warning practice on March 11, 1945. He played tuba for 37 minutes. General Eisenhower commended his gallantry. While sick with scarlet fever on Christmas Eve, he performed for 178 men, 16 of whom perished in the Battle of the Bulge. He found church theater. His debut performance at 8 stunned the congregation. People were astonished when he added a 4-minute monologue questioning God's silence during Herod's carnage to his shepherd role. Over 20 church plays by 12. He staged the town's first integrated performance in 1943 with 7 black teens. The outcry was fierce. Churchgoers left by the dozen. Roberts continued even when his father's career was threatened. He played Judas as a misunderstood rebel in 1944, causing church elders to protest. His last church performance, The Prodigal Son, critiqued inequality by rewriting the Bible story. A theater director saw the performance and gave him his first job 6 weeks later. He earned outstanding test scores and joined Georgia Tech in 1946, but difficulty soon followed. He boycotted ROTC and held a nuclear weapons debate, which he said encouraged blind obedience. He boldly criticized the engineering department in the school newspaper for disregarding ethics. He was FBI surveilled in April for leading Marx and Einstein student groups. A dean labeled him talented yet dangerous. Roberts quit after 141 days. He later declined to build bridges. He wanted to know their rulers. He joined the Marines that summer. Musical talent kept him out of battle. He played in the Marine Corps Band at approximately 200 Truman administration functions. He was 7 feet from Winston Churchill at one performance. A commander who liked his jazz rescued him from court-martial for performing during a military review. He rejoined Georgia Tech in 1948 from the Marines. He earned high calculus grades but quit after a heated dispute over engineers' social role. His philosophy studies at the University of Maryland began in 1950. He aced all his humanities classes and intentionally failed science ones. Pernell Roberts' Hollywood transition, 1958 to 59. Sophia Loren's film debut. Pernell Roberts' early Hollywood career took a big step when he appeared in Desire Under the Elms in 1958, opposite Sophia Loren and Anthony Perkins. Roberts' adaptation of Eugene O'Neill's 1924 play was acclaimed, who played Peter Cabot in the tragic drama. The film, directed by Delbert Mann and written by O'Neill and Irwin Shaw, was distributed by Paramount Pictures through Don Hartman Productions. Critics panned Burl Ives' portrayal of Ephraim Cabot, despite the film's renowned cast and literary pedigree. Bosley Crowther of the New York Times criticized Ives's performance, saying he looked more like Foxy Grandpa in a religious black hat than a ragged old toilet. Domestic Rental's $1 million box office performance was modest, but Daniel L. Pfapp's Academy Award nomination for Best Black and White Cinematography and 1959 Laurel Awards accolades were notable. This 111-minute drama marked Roberts' entry into major Hollywood filmmaking and established the groundwork for his varied career, which would lead to even greater renown. Western cinema typecasting begins. Ironically, Roberts' 1958 character part in The Sheepman opposite Glenn Ford foreshadowed his future. This Western production began Roberts' difficult connection with the genre, which would boost his popularity and ultimately hinder his artistic goals. Roberts gave his Western characters gravity as a classically trained actor who had played Shakespeare on Broadway and received the Drama Desk Award for his 1955 off-Broadway performance as Macbeth. He stood out from his peers due to his theatrical training. He gives his performances nuance rarely seen in the genre. After performing in The Taming of the Shrew and The Duchess of Malfi on Broadway in 1957, Roberts moved to Hollywood in 1958. Later, critics noticed that Westerns supplied Roberts' best part ironically. He learned about Hollywood Western production on the Sheepman set. He had long, isolated shoots, physically difficult situations, and simpler dialogue compared to Shakespeare, developing professional habits and industry connections that would lead to his breakthrough television opportunity the following year. Ride Lonesome Feet, Randolph Scott. In 1959 Western Ride Lonesome, Roberts played morally complicated outlaw Sam Boone against Randolph Scott in what many consider his best film performance. Bud Boetticher directed and filmed in stunning CinemaScope at Lone Pine starting August 14, 1958. Fans consider this 73-minute B-movie the best, 49. Boetticher's Ranone cycle of Westerns included James Coburn's cinematic debut, creating a renowned cast. One critic praised Roberts' multifaceted portrayal of Boone, saying he captures every cynical joke, manly appeal, and adherence to the script's unique code. Roberts' character was supposed to die in Burt Kennedy's screenplay, but Boetticher was so charmed by his performance that he asked studio executive Sam Briskin to allow him Live 9. Later, the filmmaker said he promised 2 endings, but only filmed the one where Roberts survives. During the film's filming, Roberts's increasing theatrical reputation allowed him to bring his stage-honed acting skills to the Western genre, demonstrating his ability to play complicated characters in conventional settings. Bonanza cast Pernell Roberts as Adam Cartwright in 1959. A significant deal. NBC had high aspirations, and Roberts was experienced. He was a theater veteran with parts in Othello and Antigone. Roberts was frustrated by 1962, 3 years into the show. He admitted to signing for a sixth year to obtain a raise, but now he would rather be out. NBC extended his 5-year contract to 6 to keep their top-rated show going. They denied his request to leave. One executive said, "We were trying to provide a tidy package to a new sponsor, and I felt responsible." Roberts portrayed Adam, a bright, college-educated architect. Unlike his younger, more fiery brother Cartwright's, he was calm and scholarly. What was once a novel, complex role became boring. The writers stifled character development. Adam pretended to need his father's approval for everything, even though he was grown. Roberts subsequently commented, "I expected a sophisticated show, but it was empty." He warned about problems by 1962. "What we discussed never happened," he said. His limit came in 1965. He said he fought the powers over writing, character development, and other issues. "I was upset when I got to work. Living that way is wrong. The Bonanza situation was not my most rewarding," he told a publication after leaving. "I needed to change scenery. I focused on regional theater. Even though Bonanza made him famous, he hated the spotlight. Unexpected fame was shocking. He once claimed my Bonanza role was like Isaac Stern, sitting in with Lawrence Welk." Roberts didn't seek mere stardom. He desired meaning. He felt trapped by the show's formula and shallowness. In 1963, he asked, "Isn't it absurd for 3 mature males to need father's permission for everything?" Deep roles were his dream, but he played the same lines week after week. The psychological toll rose. He acknowledged it exhausted him. Roberts showed his anger on set. He fought producers and writers constantly. He questioned almost everything from the start. "I struggled continuously for the first 3 years of the show," he added. "I resigned to serving my time." He loathed hurry. Last-minute scripts arrived. There was no time for scene rehearsal or analysis. "What a bad way to work," he said. And he told everyone. His producer, David Dortort, termed him unruly, loud, and aloof. But even he recognized Roberts' talent, and he could improve any scene. Still, Roberts ceased pretending things would better by 1964. "I haven't grown since the series started," he replied. "My role is powerless. I see the father everywhere." Roberts spoke out about life off-set during this time. Fame helped him promote racial rights. He marched from Selma to Montgomery with Martin Luther King Jr. in 1965. He challenged unfair casting on Bonanza with Harry Belafonte and Joan Baez. His family reportedly said he urged NBC to hire Native American and Asian performers, not only makeup-wearing white actors. He even proposed that Adam Cartwright marry a black actress, Native American woman. NBC rejected the notion instantly, but Roberts persisted. He didn't care about network opinion. He believed in doing the right thing at all costs. During his TV career, he experimented. RCA Victor published Roberts' 1963 folk album, Come All, Ye Fair, and Tender Ladies. It revealed his softer, creative side. He sung folk tunes like In the Pines and They Call the Wind Maria. His music was a refuge from Bonanza acting. It enabled him be creative without network interference. Though not a hit, the record meant to him. It felt genuine, like the work he wanted. Roberts sought ways to return to the stage. Theater was his passion, but his NBC contract prevented it. He couldn't work outside during production. That restriction drove him mad. That Bonanza couldn't perform abroad was one of its major issues. Feeling confined. He joined Night of the Iguana on stage in 1963 to break free, but the network didn't like it. By late 1964, Pernell Roberts was psychologically drained. He broke down playing Adam Cartwright on Bonanza. He was crushed, not simply frustrated. Shakespearean actor and Drama Desk Award winner Roberts felt creatively constrained. He stopped reading screenplays because the role was unfilled. He would arrive, request the lines, say them, and leave. He just cared about it now. On film, he drew thick black lines through his dialogue using a stubby pencil. He said his character would read a speech from notes instead of memorizing it. Roberts rebelled quietly. Afterward, he said he spent his last 2 years on the show in resignation. Roberts felt like a grown man playing a child, since the role never altered or developed. Then Hollywood was startled. He received one of the decade's biggest TV contracts from NBC, $10,500 each episode, full rerun residuals, and $693,000 for 1965 to 66. Roberts didn't blink, walked away. His co-stars stayed, got raises, and became billionaires by 1970. Roberts shrugged when asked about the money he lost. He claimed he didn't require much. Art and honesty trumped money for him. Roberts joined Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the Selma to Montgomery March weeks after his last Bonanza episode. He wasn't seeking attention. He was always civil rights-minded. He picketed, testified, and persuaded NBC to cease using white actors in ethnic parts. He even disputed the network's all-white personnel. Roberts prioritized justice over TV fame. Behind the scenes, things were deteriorating. His producer disputes were open and acrimonious by 1964. He labeled the show juvenile, criticized its lack of diversity, and wondered why 3 grown men needed their father's permission for everything. His co-star, Lorne Greene, termed him unprofessional. Roberts pushed back against producer David Dortort's call of rebellion, striking out words, and attempted to add honesty to a stupid, vapid show. Some years later, Dortort accepted error. He failed to recognize Roberts' talent, but it was too late. Roberts had departed, believing television had become a uniformity and greed machine.